Do-do-do-do-do. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances.
Okay. Eventually, I'll need you to move that screen over to the left so I can see the chat, so I can read the chat, because right now the camera's blocking it.
Oh, you can't see it.
That's not.
I'll flip them.
Like,
hey, folks, how you doing out there? We're live.
Oh, we are?
We're live.
No play-in?
Play it in. Play it in. Keep going.
All right, that's a proper play-in right there. Welcome to Eugene and Dylan's Guitar Show. I'm Eugene Edwards over here. That's Dr. Dylan Calagurioso over there.
Wow.
And we just grabbed that was Refugee by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, somewhat off the top of our heads as an intro, because you just did like a full. You did like, I guess it was a private party gig.
That's right. Yes.
So Dylan did this private party gig recently, and it was all Tom Petty material, and I think the idea was it was like record perfect versions.
That's
not
right.
Just like bar band.
No, we could not just phone it in.
Okay, so this is interesting because this is not a band that, as far as you know, this gig's never going to happen again, right?
Well, it'll probably happen again, but not with me right away, because I was subbing.
Oh, you were sub
with
for
friends
someone
that I played with growing up who are older than me.
Okay, I get it now.
And yeah.
So what's interesting is that you took the gig, because how much material did you have to learn? Do you know how many songs?
Man, it was a full 90-minute Tom Petty set.
Yeah, so like 25 songs.
Yeah,
30?
it's probably like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question here, and some of Dylan's students, I don't know that they actually said this. I think you were kind of assuming. They were like, wait a minute.
Yes.
20 songs for one gig?
Oh, they said it, Eugene.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
And they're like, I don't know, is that worth it? Why would I do all that? This is a very interesting topic, I think, because I know I'd do it in a heartbeat, because I'm such a fan of Mike Campbell and Tom Petty that I'm just looking for an excuse to play that stuff.
Right.
And then especially if you tell me, okay, but record perfect, I'm thinking, ooh, okay. Now I have a legitimate excuse as an adult who earns a living playing guitars, like, oh, no, I'm being paid to nerd out on this stuff.
Absolutely.
And also, yes, then I'll do the gig.
Mm-hmm.
I will get paid to do the gig. Probably not going to do the gig again. And even after I've made and spent the money, I've got all this Mike Campbell in me now. Like, I did all that work, and it wasn't a waste because it was only one show. Wait a minute, I could break this up into lessons for my students, or just the intrinsic value of learning those parts. It's going to make me a better guitar player, going to hopefully increase my value as an if I get hired to play a session for someone.
Right.
I'm thinking, what would Mike Campbell do? Well, I picked up his habits and why his parts work so well over those songs, right?
I think that'd be one of the first
I bring
big
value
takeaways.
to Dwight's table if we're working together, and I'm just, my little call and response looks are just a little tastier than they were in the last albums. Like, it's probably that Mike Campbell studying I was doing.
Well, there's
So there's more than just the gig when you take a gig.
a considerable amount of precision to his playing that you wouldn't notice if you didn't have to learn it. And so I think it's really easy when you're, we've talked about it before, but like simple guitar lines.
Simple guitar lines.
That are played really well with great tone, by the way, which has playing as part of a great tone. The pick approach, everything, are not as simple when you're trying to sound like these stars. So it's like, go on and record yourself playing the guitar part to this song that we just did, Refugee. And you're going to find, can I copy exactly that tone? Can I get exactly those inflections? It's a great way for you to be able to create that level of objectivity about your playing.
So the fact that he chooses which notes to do the vibrato. It's that one. Then he plays the melody. Then the bagpipes. So there's that solo alone has these I don't know, like 3 or 4 different techniques and statements, these signposts. Here's a great example of a solo I heard quite a bit because it was on the radio a lot. I never thought about the technique involved. Mary Lee is here. She's one of my students, and she's learning the solo to Bryan Adams's Everything I Do It For You.
Everything I do.
The Robin Hood song, right? Is that the Robin Hood movie?
I do it. Yes.
So
we're not going to be able to use that reference.
Keith Scott is the guitar player, longtime player with Bryan Adams. And when I listen to it to help, she says, well, I've got some clunky moments here. I just need some help putting together.
Yeah.
I take a listen to it, and I didn't know. It was like, to me, I was like, oh my God, it's a perfect David Gilmour guitar solo.
Yeah, right.
It is a complete tribute to David Gilmour, and I mean this in the best way because this guy nails it. But one of the first things I noticed, so it's the song's in D flat, but when the guitar solo comes,
sorry.
But the solo starts on the 4 chord of G flat. And the first thing he does is plays the major 7th. He plays an F natural over it, so he creates this major 7th voicing, which is really tasty. Then so there's this little staccato, a real nice little syncopated thing.
Yeah.
And then at one point he does this move. And when it's a full stop bend, then when he reaches pitch, he gives it vibrato, but he uses the vibrato arm. He doesn't do it, which really makes sense because he's holding it for quite a while. And and then he actually adds a little double stop thing and gets out of it. And at the very end, the last thing he does is this little pre-bend, come down, choke it, pre-bend.
Right.
And I'm thinking, there's a lot of technique.
Yeah.
There's a lot of technique in this solo.
Yeah.
When to use the arm, when he's using natural, when he uses the double stop, sliding, the choice of using the major 7th on that 4 chord. Like, it's just a nice melodic guitar solo. It's like there's tons of lessons in this thing.
So I don't know about you. I learned that stuff by trying to copy it with my guitar, and I didn't necessarily always know how to do it because prior to the modern age, there just wasn't really a ton of information to help you learn that, especially nuanced stuff. And even if there was a Wolf Marshall interpreting, but still, like it's harder to write this stuff down and describe it than it is to learn it.
That's very true.
Okay, like bend with a choke, and then what are we doing here? We're going to start a 3-stroke motor?
Yeah.
No. So it's like I think it's one of those deals where the best way to learn this stuff is figure out how to make the sound with your guitar by far, and then try to describe it later. Hey, Michael Storms, Sean, good to see you.
Is this a different couch?
Is it what? No,
Marilee, it's not.
No, Marilee. This is same couch.
Yeah, I have not tried the Mike Campbell Red Dog Telecaster. I have not.
I haven't either. But hey, Fender.
Hey, Fender.
We are ready and waiting.
My Fender video, I think, has been posted on the YouTubes for the Ventera 2 thing because you
didn't have any boogers hanging out or anything, right? During it, like there was you were completely coiffed. It was all.
I was. Julie was my mua.
Oh,
I had
good.
Julie again, so yeah, felt good about that. And but and then my social media guy Lee, this morning he says, hey, I'm gonna repost. I'm gonna collaborate with Fender on the thing. They've invited y'all to take care of that for you. It's awesome. So I posted the stories, and then all day long I've been teaching and writing some lessons and doing some. So I've been on my laptop a lot today, and I keep getting these alerts from the Instagram alerts, and very nice compliments. But then there's a lot of people complaining about the price of the guitar, which I'm just thinking, okay, well,
I didn't set the price.
I don't even know how much this thing costs. Is it? And the complaint, if some of the people have, just
is it a vintage 2?
It's the Ventera 2 Road Worn.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
And to those that think that's just too expensive, I think there's a stigma, an old one, about the made in Mexico.
Oh.
They know it's made in Mexico. They're like, the made in Mexico used to cost this, and what's this?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of things. The Ensenada factory now is using real rosewood on the rosewood fretboards. It's not that Tau Ferro or what. It's not
Tau Ferro, yeah.
That's more expensive. Also, this particular series, not to redo the ad, but having played them and gone through the spec sheet, It's a really light nitrocellulose. It's ready to start checking and cracking. They don't completely stress, like they don't do tons of work. It's just, but it's good to go. They've already sanded the lacquer off here, so it's nice and smooth. That's usually something that you pay to do extra later on. The wiring underneath, it's all cloth wire. Like if underneath, they've done the most vintage work, and like that sort of labor costs.
Yeah.
So
there's another thing when it crosses the border. There's a new fee.
I wasn't going to get into that, but
I won't get into it either.
There's
but there
factor as well. Now,
okay.
And the Ensenada factory, by the way, looks like something from 2001 Space Odyssey. It's
old. I think it's older than the Corona factory, by the way.
It might be.
I think so.
It's been there. So I think the price of some of the made in Mexico fenders has gone up, but so has the quality.
The quality's a 10x.
That's the
you guys.
So just try out the guitars. Please don't let a prejudice of factory and what it used to represent, what they used to make, don't let that throw you off.
Okay, I want to make a case here. Two things. One, nitrocellulose is the process of using it is a highly flammable, actually, and highly dangerous, and also you have a lot of EPA standards, and there are international standards that are recognized across all the NAFTA states. So you have to. It's an expensive process to use nitrocellulose. Also, road worn or not, nitrocellulose or not, your guitar is lighter. I'm not saying don't get polyurethane guitars, finished guitars.
They also have their benefits.
Yes, they do. But your guitar is lighter. The breathability means
broadcast.
It's a woodier tone.
Yeah.
And I can actually hear the difference, to be honest with you. I can tell, and there's a bit of a change in the way the guitar vibrates as a result of it.
I certainly
That's
think
probably
so.
the main. Okay. Plus, road worn. I used to think the same thing as a lot of people. I would say, why I'm gonna distress my own genes. Thank you very much. There's a story. I was on tour with an artist when I was a kid. We were young tourlets. Is that?
Yeah, that's
okay.
exactly.
And so we're. And
exactly the word.
The father was the manager of the band, and she got a brand new Candy Apple Strat. And our second gig with it, he grabs it from her and takes his key and does this.
Oh, whoa!
And needless to say, we're all still reeling from this in therapy. But I mean, no. But this was like it's going to get scratched up because she had been complaining about it getting scratched up. And one of the things about one of the things about this is the whiplash of young country starlets.
I was going to say.
Okay, one of the things about road worn is you don't have to worry about the first scratch.
True.
Okay.
Now,
do you see
by the
what I
way,
mean?
it doesn't. But they didn't. It's not an overboard like
it's not distressed,
totally
right.
shredded.
Yeah.
Your story where the wear is going to be.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. It's going to happen by you playing it. It's just that it's going to happen sooner than later on this because of the light. Because there's no poly on it. Couple things. Learning to Fly. Pink Floyd. It's in G.
Pink Floyd.
Yep. Yeah. Pink Floyd. Learning to. Oh, actually, there's two Learning to Fly. There's Tom Petty's Learning to Fly.
Oh.
And then there's Pink Floyd's Learning to Fly.
Okay.
And I was talking about David Gilmour. So great.
Yeah,
I don't know
gotcha.
which, but the Pink Floyd Learning to Fly. I loved that lick. It's G major, but then this G and B, no, together as a double stop. G and B it goes up, so it's a Lydian move, right?
Yeah.
It's really hip. They don't play the A major chord at all, but that's
Is that on the wall?
no, it's on
Dark
the
Side of the Moon.
Without Roger Waters. Momentary Lapse of Reason.
Oh, okay.
Learning to Fly by Tom Petty.
Yeah.
What's funny is that obviously Mike Campbell plays slide on that, and I think he has a low D. He drops one of the strings, and so when I picked up this guitar when I came over to Dylan's right now, before we went live, I picked the guitar and played a chord, not knowing it had been tuned for slide. Boy, that made a really interesting sound.
Sure did.
It wasn't unpleasant. It was pretty good. The Jason Isbell is Mexican made, and is
Merrily, yes.
Yes,
The answer is yes.
That was for the longest time. So that was the first one that I'm aware of that made in Mexico, real rosewood. Jason was very strict about that. The other cool thing about the Isbell is that the neck pickup, it's the twisted telly that Fender makes, which is more like a Stratocaster neck pickup, not a telly neck pickup. The red Telecaster I had here last week.
It's a hand-wound pickup. Yeah.
I have that in that red Tele, and I'll tell you, on gigs, with all due respect, the twisted Tele, or the more Strat-like Tele pickup, is much, much more practical on gigs than the normal Telecaster rhythm pickup, because
the volume difference is a big part of it.
Volume difference, tone difference.
Yeah.
If someone wants me to start Sweet Home Alabama, I can get pretty close to it on a Tele now, instead of trying to switch to a Strat. Anyway, so that Isabel Tele, even if you're not, and Jason had the good taste to put his little insignia logo, it's back here on the neck plate, so you don't actually see any reference to Jason. His name's not splattered all over it. So anyway, they're doing really, really good ones. But thank you for the compliment on the video. It was great to make that
guitar's
for you.
fantastic.
And I really,
well, I got to watch the video.
Personally, I'm hoping to get a Stratocaster out of the thing and not even take one of the Teles. I love one of their Stratocasters.
It's already over though.
The new show, Mr. Coppola, thank you so much. That was a fun one. Beautiful night. The weather was gorgeous out there, and kind of a loose gig. It was kind of a short kind of bowl. I think they have mostly athletic events there for some reason. But it was a beautiful night, and it was kind of like a nice loose show. We could see the audience really well. Yeah. It was just kind of just a bright night, and that kind of made a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun that night. The Mike McCready Strat is also made in Mexico.
I haven't played the Mike McCready Strat.
Oh, I didn't know. Know. So we're getting all the M and MIMs out there.
Right.
Does anybody have? It's an Ask Us Anything Wednesday. We could have kept going with the intro stuff, but I just wanted to give a little bit of rest, and I just thought we had some guitar stories to tell. I'm pretty excited by the way. Well, sadly, the rest of our shows this year, the Dwight Yoakam shows, we won't be able to play with the Mavericks because Raul's having just for some medical reasons, health reasons.
Oh, wow.
So Raul can't fly, and so it was like, oh, well then, who do we get? So at least the next couple of dates we have, including the Greek, it's not Cher.
Okay.
Very close.
All right.
Los Lobos.
Oh wow, that'll do.
Very close.
In a pinch.
And if you don't know this already, David Hidalgo from Los Lobos is one of my original guitar heroes.
Oh yeah.
One of the few people my hands tremble when I'm around him. Like I'm just nervous as hell. I just so nervous around the guy, and he couldn't be kinder to me. And so I'm just thrilled. As much as I love performing at our concerts, there's nothing like having Los Lobos on the bill and me just geeking out for an hour.
Yeah.
It's and as I go, and this is my job. Unbelievable.
What is that? Is that me?
That's got to be you.
Can't be me.
So yeah, a lot of raves about different models
you, buddy.
there. Will either of you be playing in Illinois anytime soon? I know I'm in Ohio this weekend. I know that's not quite Illinois, but it's as close as I'll get, and then probably not till next year for me. Is it possible to play metal on a Tele? Well, yes, but with some conditions.
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely.
Now here's
metal on a
so
Tele.
This is a Tele style, a T style
the Slipknot
guitar.
is a Tele.
Oh, I was gonna. Well, Gina Gleason, our friend Gina Gleason, uses a Tele. Now, what will really help though is having humbuckers on a Tele, and my friend Max Bernstein, and he's been playing with Taylor Swift forever, and he's actually he's always like a punk hard rock guy. And he generally plays Teles with humbuckers. That's his ideal guitar.
You think of Taylor Swift as metal?
No, I didn't say that.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm talking about Max though.
Okay.
That's just a reference. Like where would you know Max Bernstein? He was on the hugest and most economically juggernaut world tour of all time.
I think so. Yeah.
And so, but no, he's not. He plays like the distortion parts on a lot of her songs and that stuff. But in general, as privately, he really likes Teles with humbuckers. Now, I'm going to have you take over the talk here. But what I will say, though, is that one of the advantages of a Telecaster for heavy metal, even though we don't mostly associate it with, again, assuming you put humbuckers on it, is that it is, a hardtail guitar. So on one hand, like if you want to be able to do like
anything whammy, which is very metal,
then you'll have to put that onto a Tele as well. But I'll remind you that the first Zeppelin album, that's a 59 Telecaster, top loader. with a fuzz pedal mostly and an old Supro amp.
I think it might be easier to do metal on a Tele than a Strat, to be honest with you.
Why is that?
So Teles are just brighter high end, and so they also just hotter. So if you're doing like I'm not playing anything metal enough, but it's all that kind of like chicka 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 type of picking is going to be really accented.
Is the palm muting. I'm more successful palm muting on a Telecaster rather than a Strat.
Yeah, because of location.
Yeah. So that's the other thing is even though this is a Les Paul. Oh, by the way, in this Les Paul, I should point out this is the faded series, so this is a slab body. It doesn't have an arch to it like a Les Paul does. So that's why I like this series of Les Pauls, because it's flat, so it's more like a Tele.
Yeah, so if
like
you're used to playing Teles, this is actually the most like a Tele.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought that the SG was like the perfect Tele Gibson because it's so flat, but the scale's a little long.
Neck heavy.
But neck heavy.
It's neck heavy.
Neck heavy.
It's you're not used to that. It's really weird.
It's pretty odd.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's yes, tuning stability. Well, yeah.
Actually, Teles are great at tuning stability.
Especially if it's not a floating bridge, if you haven't put an arm on it, then yeah, it's much easier to damage it because it just has a more stable bridge.
Teles might be the most road-worthy guitars in history.
I forget John 5.
John 5, that's right.
Tele Deluxe with humbuckers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this can happen, get your packing down to 2 trips.
Where are you at? I can't see it.
L.
Where's that? Way up high?
I feel like you play metal on a banjo if you distort it enough. Well, Sean, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
The hell?
Right. You might start something there new, Sean.
And then okay, so tuning stability, I think that's definitely the case. The one thing is that if you were to put a floating tremolo on a Tele, I think you've just about untelied it. I mean...
Yeah. Now, of course...
Bigsby aside.
Bigsby aside, because we were talking about the Mike Campbell's red Telecaster has a Bigsby on it, but it also has like an extra humbucker in the middle.
Thanks, Josh.
It's a pretty goofy, it's a pretty modded out Tele.
Yeah. Probably the John 5 Tele would be the greatest example.
I would check those out because it's already set up for that style of playing. In terms of the pickup, go ahead.
Well, I used to. So I would. I didn't have a private. We didn't have a private jet. So when we would tour, I would actually at this point in time just let my guitar go in the.
In the hall.
It would go in the top of the plane, which means I don't know how cold is it in the top plane.
-30. It does get cold. Yeah, at least it's pressurized, but it does get really cold.
Really cold. So, and by the way, the guitar would come out in tune, but that's a Tele. A Strat, not so much. It would have a little bit of what you do.
Of course.
The amount of moisture in the air is what's going to make the neck move when you're touring. But honestly, Teles, the necks don't really move very much. They just don't have. Strats for and I'm not sure, probably tension wise, they just have a bit more movement in them. But it might be.
and also we can talk about how indestructible the Telecaster is, and there's a lot of truth to that.
A Tele Deluxe for metal. We've
toured a lot with various guitars, and we can tell you there's a reason guitar players talk about how durable the Telecaster is. Not that was Leo's main premise for making that guitar. It was really a matter of being able to mass produce an electric guitar that would not feed back. That's the general point. But in doing so, he did end up making something, again, like Les Pauls, like a lot of these are more finely crafted guitars, the necks are glued in.
Yeah.
And so temperature
fluctuations they're way more temperamental.
Really going to be. But if
they're
you
downright
sentimental. You just bolt something on like a Telecaster neck, what are you talking about? The Jack White Tele, which I've not played.
I haven't played it either.
Jack White Telecaster overkill. You think it's a little too much stuff? Maybe. I don't know. But the Tele is a workhorse. Absolutely. It really is.
I have a Valley Arts guitar. And if you guys ever want to see overkill, it's like a Tyler. It's similar to a Tyler. It has a Demeter preamp in it. It has all of these famous things from this period in the early 90s, late 80s.
Advanced electronics.
Yeah, and it was like, I have a MIDI guitar sitting on the wall, you guys. We could talk about that at some point. But this is like that's overkill. I mean, these were things that was like, come in, your landing gear is down. It just got out of control.
Here we got one.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Advice for an aspiring solo instrumental guitarist asking for a friend.
Yes.
Michael Storms.
Right.
Now, I think what you're talking about is known as chord melody playing,
Sure.
maybe. Meaning you're not going to sing, right? And you're going to play a whole song from beginning to end. You're going to play Yesterday by the Beatles, all on guitar. And not just the melody line, but the melody and the chords unaccompanied. This would be like a solo instrumental guitarist.
Sorry, I don't remember it, but anyways, you get the idea. It's one of those deals where that's probably the best way to do it. And in that case, I would start with with bass note strum. So basically, if you could take one note and on making your arrangements, so you could start with Happy Birthday. So play the melody on one string, be able to finger that, add bass notes.
And so we're just hearing the root note of
Yeah.
the chord as the chords are changing,
Right.
I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah. And then you can start adding chord tones in. So, but that would be my biggest recommendation on that.
Originals mostly, Michael Storm says.
Oh, originals. So in that case, you might be using a looper and playing over the top of it, Michael, and that's just going to be about kind of a lot of that's going to be how well you're mixed in with your loop, and then whether most of it's always going to come down to whether you're kind of paying attention to your technique and if you sound like you're in time.
And the idea is, are you wanting to write guitar instrumentals?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Seems like I'm don't me put words in your mouth. I'm just taking the few things in the chat and trying to make sense of it. Well, writing a melody for a guitar instrumental would be no different than writing a melody that if it was to be sung.
Yeah.
The melody is usually, as Dylan has says, all melodies are really parts of a scale just being rearranged.
Right.
So let's say your song is in the key of A. Your melody is going to be some either scale tones or chord tones. So let's just say that's your first melody. So that's over an A major chord. So like Dylan's saying, like just hit that open A. I chose the key of A for a reason there, because we could at least play the root note open. We'll see. There you go. He's already coming up with. You have 14 originals now. Well, I'd be curious. I mean, congratulations for writing your own material. But unless we hear the material, I don't really know how to help you.
Well,
so I don't know what your question is.
A couple of things to think about. I think if you're gonna, I know Michael's already playing out, but it's the best thing you can always get is from your videoed performances or recording yourself. So even without knowing much about what your songs are, Michael, it's like if you go back and watch yourself playing, what's the viewer's experience like? Because it is genuinely show business, even if you're playing at a restaurant, solo guitar, which I actually really enjoy. You can really stretch out and have a great time.
Yeah.
You can have more fun on solo guitar at a restaurant sometimes than in a big
Than rocking out with a
concert.
band.
But it's like, what's their experience like? Because it's still, at the end of the day, show business. And if I used to, I had a guy, the guys I went and played this gig with when I was a kid, they'd say, like, if you play the most amazing S and stare at your shoes, I'm not going to care. And I'd be like, thanks, Dave. That's a lovely thing to say to a 14-year-old. And so, but
yeah,
not far off.
Not wrong. The other thing I want to say that I came across this doing the Fender video. So when we make those videos, those promotional videos for a line of guitars or pedals, whatever, obviously we can't play like Zeppelin riffs, so we can't afford the licensing. So anything you play, you pretty much have to bring in. You have to essentially write 5 to 7 to 8 different
Yeah.
ideas of things to play.
Right.
So you can play the guitar. And years ago, when I first started doing them, I was using the Voice Memos app, right? I just sit on a couch and kind of think different tempos, different genres. I'm sure they're going to want to hear the different pickups. Okay, so then what would show that up, blah, blah, blah. And I would play motifs, riffs, ideas. Everything needs to be about a minute to 90 seconds long. So
You didn't use loops or anything?
I never did. I never did. So now I make little voice memos, da, da, da. And then, but, I don't know how to title them. And there's just one. So the tweak I made over the years, it really makes a difference. Again, if you come up with a riff, an idea for something, obviously record it right away. If you don't know how to write music, then at least record it. Make a video. Take a video of yourself playing, making sure you can see both rhythm and fret hand.
Right.
That's different because when I would listen back to the voice memo, I'm thinking, wait, why did I play that?
Yeah, it's going to take more deciphering.
I don't know. Yeah, now, and so, but I can look back at a video and I can see, was I hybrid picking? Was I using a pick at all? Where, which, did I play my A chord there or like, it's just sort of, I don't know. It's just more obvious. Anyway, so when you're writing, take video. I know it sounds, but take video. Take video. Not just of your final, of your final performance. Yeah, scrutinize yourself with video or audio. Well, I'm saying in the creation process,
Sure.
take a little video as a snapshot of where it is. It actually jogs the memory to the point where it doesn't even have to jog the memory. It's just there it is, and you're back where it was.
Yeah, but good stuff, Michael.
Just play whatever you want. Original. It's all good. Very good. All good. I'll see.
Yeah, there's a famous sort of, if you do some self-authoring with your guitaring, I think it can make a really big difference. And it's hard for all of us to do self-authoring. So if you just sit down and kind of say, all right, if I could have the guitar life that I want in 5 years, what would it look like? What am I doing? Who am I with? Where are we at? What am I playing? What is my experience level like? And it's strange how rarely we all go and do that. And part of that is because when you run at something, you don't necessarily want to be in anticipation mode all the time. But
sure,
if you start to get to a point where you may be feeling a little dismayed about guitar, or you're feeling a little uninspired, sometimes that has to do with not a clear aim. And you can always change what you're aiming at, right? But if you sat down and say, all right, what do I want in 5 years? Like, what do I want it to sound and look like? Where do I want to be playing? Who do I want to be playing with? What type of gear do I want to have and why? Like, because that's all questions that are being asked because of that ultimate dream.
Steering towards, the thing you want.
This is what I do with students that's probably more valuable than me teaching them things in some senses, because you can learn a lot of things off the internet now, although you do need mentorship and help you kind of funnel down what you're trying to do, which is a lot of what it is. But, an application. But, like, it's helping people kind of figure out, like, what do you want? And, gosh, it's really hard to figure out what you want. I don't know if anybody's ever like, very rarely do you know what you want as the individual. You might know what you want today, but what do you want in general? That takes a lot of sitting down and thinking about and doing some self-authoring, and that's a great way to get out of your own way and stop making to have enough of a reason to stop making some of the mistakes. So a lot of people buy too much gear, right?
Well, even that statement might
at
be slightly,
all levels, you guys.
What does too much mean, though? What do you want?
And he's being sponsored by the guitar manufacturers right now, so he has to say that out of a contractual obligation.
Yeah, hey. I was born yesterday, but it was yesterday morning.
Yeah. So, I mean, people will... So what does that do, right? It gives you a reward if you buy gear. And that's not bad. And you should buy gear. If you want to... You want to buy only gear. And
wait. Okay, so is there such a thing as too much guitars? I feel like that's come up
this is a question going back at you.
Well, hold on. There can be. Okay, so for instance, to be at the risk of being immodest here,
the Howard Hughes guitar collection.
As I guess for doing that video, I wouldn't be outside of my bounds to ask for one of the Ventera road worn tellies like the ones I demoed. Okay, but I'm personally good on Telecasters right now. In fact, what did I do recently? I took a Telecaster I've had for years
and destroyed it,
and put the Glazer, had the bender put on it,
right,
so that it at least is different than some of the other tellies I
otherwise had. Yeah.
So I don't want to have too much redundancy in my guitars.
Right. It's not an airplane. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that, I think, now again, but it's all so practical It's not just the Dwight thing, but it's also just I do session work. I play gigs around town when I have time, and it's just kind of nice to have. Well, obviously, you should take 2 guitars to each gig. Always have a backup if you can. So yeah, maybe it's like take a Telecaster and a Strat just to have a little variety. The string breaks,
even if you just need one, because sometimes guitars just don't work and you got to pull the other one out.
Sometimes guitars just not happy and you just want to use it.
But this here's what I would say about that: how many guitars can you have in professional working order without a luthier living in your basement? And it's like, not a ton. You know, I mean, 3, 4. It's not an endless number. You know?
Wait, does Fender, does they have a copyright for the songs they teach? They work out a licensing agreement. On the play.
Where's that question? I don't see it.
Rory Price is asking, does Fender have to pay a copyright fee for the songs that they teach?
I'm sure they do.
So yes, there is, but
they pay to license it. It's not. It's a mechanical license.
Those things are negotiated well ahead, and that's all worked out by the time
it's probably
those songs get there.
Pricey. Yeah,
sure. Michael Storms, that's a very funny thing. His videos are an awesome teacher. My girlfriend says I'm narcissistic because I watch myself play. No, I'm being hypercritical of myself.
It would be narcissistic not to watch yourself play.
I hear you, Mike. I honestly, again, your face doesn't have to be in the videos. Maybe that'll cut down on the narcissism, but make sure both hands can be seen. And make sure you can see like where your pickup selector is, things like that. Just the actual stuff you need to know. I'm not, too much gear. We love gear. By the way, you can't see what's behind the camera.
There's a lot of gear in this room right
now,
you guys. So for me to give the stop buying guitars thing, trust me, I'm not saying that because you're sitting in a gear funeral home, like. And then there's an attic with gear in it. It's a disgusting place. Yeah.
We're one of each color, all that sort of stuff. My in real life guitar teacher has a Rickenbacker in every color. Yeah. See, sometimes now at this point and then we venture. There's a tipping point where now we're into a brand, a thing, and we'd like to have every commercially represented version of that thing.
Yeah.
And since it's not like a Volkswagen Beetle, it's a Rickenbacker guitar, so we can feasibly store them all in one room. Doesn't take up that much space. It's not like trying to collect every every 4-door sedan that Chevy's come out with every 3 years.
I mean, if you were into baseball cards or you were into other things, you might want to get it's funny. Collectibles.
I like Michael's. Does Eugene have the Sybil Shepherd filter? He looks fuzzy. I paid extra for the Barbara Walters filter, but then the license ran out and I didn't want to repay it, so I bumped up to the Sybil Shepherd one. I'm sorry if I'm. Now it's funny. I was watching a movie a couple of weeks ago.
I probably got more light on him.
A movie called Deconstructing Harry. It's a Woody Allen movie.
I've seen it.
There's a sequence in it, and he writes he's writing a book about and Robin Williams plays an actor, and they're on set, and they're trying to fix the cameras because he's blurry. And it turns out that it's not the camera. The person, he's actually blurry.
He's actually blurry.
And he comes home and his wife's like, why do you look as... I'm out of focus. I'm out of focus. I need to sleep. I need to get rest. He's just out of focus. It's a really, really funny trick. So
impressionistic movie.
I'm just an unfocused person, Michael. That's
much.
Why I look this
Sorry
way.
about that. We'll work on it.
So Michael has 10 guitars, all sonically very different. That's a great choice. Look, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Here's my analogy. It's like a good wardrobe. You need certain staples, right? You need the black cocktail dress, the gray business suit. You need some linen shirts for or a linen suit for the summer. On and on. You need tennis shoes. You need good loafers. You need good lace ups. Oh,
are we actually doing it? It's that. That's during the. Yeah.
Sorry.
But that's okay.
It's a fast change.
Yeah.
Tom Petty and Mike Campbell had a bunch of good. Well, that's an infamous collection. There's a whole locker. They've actually built. Maybe you've seen videos of it in their lockout for Tom and Mike's guitars. There's like a suspended from the ceiling. There's like on a servo, like like the dry cleaners. You know how they press the button and all the clothing comes out? They have the guitars.
Is that? I haven't seen it.
It's in a thing. And
that's disgusting.
No, years ago.
I love it.
But so when Mike and Tom, when they moved out to L.A., like they'd open the reader and look for used guitars, and they were just buying them. They were affordable to do, and they use them all. And I remember seeing once, like in the early 2000s, seeing a video, it was the tribute to George Harrison concert, and Campbell's playing this beautiful green Stratocaster, and I was like, "Wow, I've never seen that. Never seen him play that before." And then years later, we had a front of house person working with us, and he normally works with Tom. Tom is still alive, and so I'm peppering him with mostly Mike Campbell questions.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, I saw this video of Mike playing this Sherwood Green Forest Strat at the Royal Albert Hall." I said, "Did he rent that, or did he get rid of it? You know?" And he looked at me and goes, "I can tell you, he didn't get rid of it." Guitars come in, they never go out. Nothing gets sold off. That does not happen.
I can tell you what didn't happen.
I'll tell you. That's right.
I don't know where it is, but I know where it isn't.
That's right.
In someone else's hands. So, you know what? So while you were saying that, I was thinking about, in terms of having a ton of guitars, I actually think it's awesome. And I think one thing to think about, if you were to buy assets right now, right? So everybody, inflation, whether inflation is going to get worse, I don't
Economy,
know.
yeah.
But like assets, I think are obviously the way people build wealth and hold wealth and things. Which guitars would be assets? And when you're looking at that, you got to think about the liquidity. So can you sell them? And if so, does it sit on Reverb or wherever you're selling it for 6 years or 6 days or 6 hours? Yeah. And I think the biggest part of that is it a big brand name? Those are going to move the fastest.
Yeah, because people recognize it.
Right. Is it such a collector's item that it's worth $109,000 and you have to sell it to Joe Bonamassa? Or is it a collector's item that's more along the lines of a limited? Because there's a lot of green, actually, Strats that were different colors of green that are collectors because they did limited runs of them.
Right.
And so the fact that you said green is interesting.
No, that's why it caught my eye.
Yeah, exactly. And so is it something that people would understand, like a layman, and I'm using that term generously, like layman meaning, oh, no, you don't understand. This is a custom shop, but it's not a master build. And they're like, well, wait, what? Okay, so I'm not going to be able to establish value on that. Is it a Gibson? Is it a CBS era? Now, if it's a non-Fender or Gibson, we start getting into things that get harder to sell and tend to be cyclical. So if it's a Ibanez with a wizard neck on it and has an incredible, it's got the handle here.
Yeah,
right. That comes in and goes out, and the more moving parts. So I think that another thing about guitars is they can actually be great investments if you buy the right ones and you decide you want to sell them down the road. Good luck selling them, because it tends to be very difficult to want to get rid of them.
It's so funny. I remember seeing the news. This is years and years ago. It was like I didn't read the full story, but I read the first paragraph. Something about Johnny Depp and something like insiders are worried that he's, going to be broke soon or something like this. Is years ago. And it was like something like,
it's going to be fine.
He's just wasting his money on, and I remember seeing it was like guitars, cars, and houses.
Yeah, what a terrible idea. That's
these are all things that tend to go
up in value.
Like he's not buying Toyota Corollas. I'm sure he's like, and guitar wise,
Corolla would be of the some
he's
of them.
probably buying like late 50s Les Paul Juniors. Like
right.
Things. I was like, if I was his money manager, I'm thinking, and also get some art while you're at it.
I was going to say it's that or fine art.
These sound like investments. So
yeah.
But if you don't know about it, it's like, well, that sounds like a waste of money.
Well, and let's think about that. So if you have really nice guitars, you can actually borrow against them. They're actually assets that are, collaterable assets. So I mean, not that you should, but so I think the guitar collecting thing now more than ever is probably actually a viable way to build assets, to be honest with you.
Kevin Newell points out that in Mike Campbell's new memoir, there's a really great story about that. So he got that Rickenbacker that we see Tom Petty holding on the cover of Damned Torpedoes.
Yeah.
Mike saw the ad. He thought it would be like a George Harrison Rickenbacker.
Right.
And he goes, and it's this weird kind of thing, like, what?
Yeah.
sounded fine, bought. I'm truncating the story. Later on, having the guitar worked, I saw the serial number. Turns out it's the first one of that. Mike Campbell, of all people, like that's the first one of that.
Wow.
It's just like just the dumb luck, right? Well, wasn't Rickenbacker? They were in Anaheim, right? So I think in the story he said he went to Orange County, so not far from the factory, I'm sure. But yeah, it's a
lot
funny
of these
thing.
guitar
it just ended up in that
brands
guy's
got
hand.
sold off to other conglomerates, or they started as mom and pop brands and eventually moved on to other things. So I think it says Scott, Central VA Real Estate. Oh yeah, he can certainly help with that.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up. It's fine. We're just sitting and chatting now. Next week, I won't be here. I'm playing. I'm playing actually around the corner from here at the Greek Theater, but it's on a Wednesday, so no show. Little Lydian
focus.
That's the motif.
We didn't play that one for some reason. I was really disappointed.
Oh, you guys didn't do that one?
But I learned it. And then we didn't.
Wait, last words from Michael Storm. A guitar is only worth what someone is willing to pay right now. Guitar is not a good investment, says my friend who owned a guitar store.
Wow.
Well, but that's what investments are, right? I mean, that's,
yeah.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's kind of depends on what you pay for it and all that stuff. But yeah, probably as a general rule, Michael, that might be right. Who knows? All right. Well, hey guys, have a great week. Oh, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and please like the video. We always forget to do.
We never do that.
This is why
everybody I see successfully on the internet, they
does
say
these things
early on. But before we go any further, I just like to thank you that are subscribing. Tell you
Rex,
what,
70%
of you that are watching right now aren't subscribers. So just click the subscribe and the like buttons. It really, really helps go a long way.
Subscribe and like. And Rex, we're going to put you in charge of this, and I can see that you're already
not a lot of enthusiasm
on heavy sedatives.
Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure, this job.
Yeah.
And so I can't.
He got a hold of some fermented fruit or something. He's out.
He's literally not even responding.
He's not. We've said his name several times.
I know. Well, we went hiking today in the heat.
Exhausted.
So he's probably exhausted. Anyways, so we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, go to Scott Fogelman for your real estate needs. And the Greek will be fun.
With Los Lobos, that's a thing.
Rex's Chief Marketing Officer. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great week.